Do you ever get the feeling that someone's watching us?
I know. Here we are. We're just having a little cup of coffee.
Sitting around.
I feel somewhat observed. So we're talking about secrecy and privacy.
And surveillance.
And surveillance.
You're looking at something on your screen. Your screen is also watching you. It's not just governments, right? It's
would you like to share
Google,
your location with? No, I would not.
It's the Easy Pass in your car. If you go back, to the classic paranoid movies, let's say, of the 1970s, the parallax view, or even go further back to George Orwell's 1984, that it is the state that is going to be prying into people's secrets. But maybe it's not the state.
In Minority Report, wasn't it just like the government and technology companies?
Yeah, all working together, and it was sort of seamless in that. There's that great scene when he's walking through the mall, Tom Cruise is walking through the mall, and all of the billboards and video displays recognize him. We're already there, right?
We're already there. I mean, if you're using a free service and you don't know what the product is, you are the product.
Millions of people, billions of people at this point on Facebook happily chatting away and friending away and sharing their likes and dislikes. But what's being harvested? I think I mentioned 1984, but in a way it's more like Brave New World, where these technologies are given to us and sold to us and marketed to us, and we appreciate them. But there is a lurking anxiety about what the costs of that might be.
So if I'm sitting at home, I can use Chrome and switch to anonymous browsing. But if I want this thing to work and work well, I have to kind of let it know what I'm up to. So they didn't have to install a dog collar on us. We just happily signed up and said, okay, I've got this. The board, the industrial government state. I mean, when Twitter has been subpoenaed for information beyond public tweets, they've let the user know. Part of the problem with the AP story is the telephone companies just handed over that information with no notice given.
So, but this is interesting because there was an idea, I think, especially in the early days of the web, that digital information wants to be free, and that the internet and digital data would dissolve centralized authority. But it sounds like you're saying that the opposite is sort of happening, and that there's a potential for the consolidation of this kind of information and control and surveillance.
Well, if it
in the hands, and then in a way, the boundaries between that I was starting out with between corporations and the state are less important than just the fact that it's all there for whoever wants to use it.
If it can be known, it will be known, right? And so I'm happy that when I travel now, I'm what's called means they've looked into my background, and surprisingly, they've said that I can
they'll
go
let
through.
You on a plane?
They'll let me on the plane, but they'll let me on with the minimum of friction.
The more information you give them, the better that they can serve you, the better they know you, the less control you have over what they know.
I'm going to go off on just a small little tangent here. Obama promised to run the most transparent administration in history. What he didn't tell us is he was going to be looking at us all the more carefully. He's leaving behind a presidency when he leaves that has advanced facial recognition, who's trying to re-engineer the internet to make it more searchable and more useful to law enforcement. And what I thought was sort of a crunchy, lefty, progressive guy turns out to be kind of a brother who's a big brother. Have you been watching The Americans?
A little bit, yeah. Mostly for the 80s nostalgia.
The time when they'd actually have to be physically present to slip a tape recorder in to get, and it's like, oh, those were the good old days when they actually had to creepy crawl up onto you. Now they can just sit at their desktop and see right into my brain pan.
Because of the equipment that you bought, because of services that you paid for, because of all the stuff that you think is really cool and that you need to have. You're the lamb leading yourself to the slaughter in this.
Well, I hereby resolve from now on that I'm going to keep things closer to the vest, more private, and watch out for cameras wherever I see them.